All right, guys, we are back again for the third Bible study session. I hope that you've watched the first two. I post every Friday, okay? And I try to just take about 10 minutes to dive into the Word and just share what I feel like God has placed in my heart, right? And the word that I have for you guys today, it actually kind of like came to me when I was at a church service just this past Sunday, and it was this line that just kept ringing in my mind, and I actually have it typed into my phone. I wrote it down while I was at church. I wrote down, when God lights a fire in you, you cannot contain it. So, you guys, for some of you who feel like you are, you just have this like fire for God, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like when God lights a fire in you, like you really, like, like nothing can satisfy it. Like you just want to like live for Christ. Like you just want to like tell everybody about God. You don't care about the things of the world, or you're trying to not care about it more than ever, right? You're just like, you just want to please God, right? You just want to please God as much as possible. Um, so that's what I want to title this word today. When God lights a fire in you, you cannot contain it. I've just felt like this um, urgency. I think, for lack of a better word, I felt this urgency in me that we are in a time when God is trying to raise an army, but specifically an army of young people. Okay, we're in a time when a lot of people think that young people are like a lost cause, right? They're the TikTok generation, Gen Z or millennials, right? Like we are self-absorbed. We're just looking to satisfy our own needs, right? We don't have any strong morals. We're all about the world and all that. That's what people are thinking. But I feel like God is about to surprise a lot of people. He's going to surprise a lot of people and just like turn this young generation into the fiercest, like most courageous generation that will live for Him. I just feel this strongly. Okay. Um, so if you are a young person watching this just like me and you have that same passion in you, just know that you're not alone. Okay, so let's go to Mark 16. If you have your Bible app or something, just take it out. Mark verse 16 and verse 15. Jesus had just appeared to his disciples. And in verse 15, he said, Go into the world, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. And that's really where I'll stop. The rest of it tells you like how those people will get saved and everything. But if but the line that I'm trying to say here is, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. For this to happen, we need a generation that is fearless. Okay, because in this generation there are so many things that is pulling us the opposite direction. Okay, things that are pulling us to do precisely the opposite of what Jesus has asked us to do here. He says, Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. But technology, TikTok, money, right? Anxiety, depression, all these things are trying to, like alcohol, even, right? Drugs, all these things are trying to pull us away from doing this mission that God has asked us to do. Okay. But the question I have for you is, will you listen to God's request and actually take a bold step, go into all the world and preach the gospel? Okay. And in today's world, it's actually easier. You don't even have to like physically go into every single place in the world, although that's even like amazing if you can do that. You can literally use the technology too. The technology that is distracting many people, you can use it to actually go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Okay, so are you going to join Jesus's army of people who would go into all the world and preach the gospel? People who will live from a place of just passion for him? Okay, people who will let his light shine? Okay, are you going to answer the call, or are you just gonna like live the life that majority of people are living in the world, of just pleasure, fun, entertainment, and this and that? Not that I'm saying you cannot have fun or anything like that. I'm just saying, is that what you want to spend most of your life doing? Okay. Um, because here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen if you don't want to do what God has said, even though he said that like he is ready to partner with us. Actually, before I get to what's gonna happen, let me just show you why I believe God is ready to partner with us. Okay, if you go to Joel or Joel, however you say that verse, if you go to Joel chapter 2, in verse 29, you've probably heard of this verse before, but in verse 29, it says, um, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Even on my servants. Actually, I started from verse 28 and now verse 29. Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days. So, God is ready to pour his spirit. He said he will do it. He will do it. The question is, are you willing to let him do what he wants to do in this world through you? Or are you going to be an obstacle and just rather do all the things of the world? Okay. So let me go back to the verse, that the point that I was trying to make earlier. Um, if you don't want to partner with God the way he wants. Okay, let me show you an example of the things that the excuse the bell, by the way. As you know, I'm in my classroom. But let me show you an example of something that might happen if you don't want to partner with God. Okay, here is Matthew 3 verse 9. Okay, so in Matthew verse 3 verse in chapter 3 verse 9, John the Baptist was saying to the Pharisees, actually he was saying, and do not think you can say to yourselves, we have Abraham as our father. I tell you that out of these stones God can raise up children for Abraham. Okay, just keep that in your mind. And then you have in Ezekiel chapter 37, right? In Ezekiel chapter 37, if you want to go over there really quick. Ezekiel chapter 37 in verse 4, that's where God was saying to Ezekiel, prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Okay, I will make breath enter you and you will come to life. And it just keeps going and so on and so forth. But the reason why I'm really saying this is God is trying to say that, like, if you don't want to do if you don't want to go out there and help be an ambassador for his kingdom and spread the word, like, he can literally cause stones to rise up and become and speak for him if he wants to, although that would be terrifying, but literally God can do that. Okay, and again, this is just me deducting the meaning, my interpretation from these various verses. These are kind of like things that you think might be impossible, but that's what God is trying to say. Like, if the humans are not going to work with him. He has the power to basically make the things that you don't expect to get up and work for him. So if you as a believer, you're not willing to go out there and spread this gospel using every single resource that you can, God will literally use the most unexpected means to get his word out. Okay, so don't quench the fire in you. That's really what it comes down to. Don't quench the fire. Okay, and as you guys can see, I'm in my classroom because I'm a teacher, but um, I try to make this Bible study videos like every week. Um, so I hope that you come back. I hope that you come back next Friday. All right. Peace out.